Hey everybody, alright, welcome back to the countdown. This is the top 100 cards in my personal collection as of right now. So I made this list about a month ago now. So anything acquired since then obviously doesn't count, but this is going to be part 2, so like number 74 to like 51, something like that. I think I got a little bit off on the numbering at one point, but that's okay. We'll get it straightened out here. So number 74, we've got the 2001 Donruss Elite Babe Ruth game used bat. Very cool card here. These early 2000s game used cards are really special. One of the cool things about the Elite game used from this era is it has the picture on the back of the piece of memorabilia from which they took the relic. So really cool having this, you know, piece of history, piece of a baseball bat used by Babe Ruth is just something really special. So pretty cool card there. All right, 73, we've got the Time Warp from Magic the Gathering. This is from the Strixhaven set a couple years ago. This is the Japanese alternate art. When I saw these cards come out, I was really gravitated towards this card in particular. I bought a booster box of the Japanese set booster box. So the cards that were actually printed in Japan are quite a bit more desirable, and the card quality seems generally better. So as opposed to the ones printed in Texas. So I wanted to pull one of these from the Japanese set booster box, and also in the Japanese set booster box you got a lot more of these alternate arts. So it was my odds felt a little bit better, and I actually ended up pulling this on the very last pack of the box. So I was super stoked about that. All right, 72, we've got a Star Wars sketch card here. I've got Rey from 2021 Galaxy Chrome by Lindsay Grayling. If you're not familiar with sketch cards or anything like that, they're all one-on-one pieces of original art signed by the artist. This one's even extra cool to me just because it's from that Galaxy Chrome set that's become so popular and beloved. Thought this was just really well done. Obviously, main character, just really awesome piece of artwork there by Lindsay Grayling. So super cool card there. All right, 72, so 71 is going to be the 2003 Bowman Chrome Gold Edgerrin James. Really nice image here of Edge. These early Bowman Golds, obviously you get the etching that I talk about. You can see there on the jersey, on the ball, on the pads. Again, Topps Chrome proper didn't have the classic Gold 50 until 2010. So anything before that, you have to go to Finest, you have to go to Bowman Chrome. And it just makes these cards even more special because they can be kind of hard to find, and really strong collector base for these types of items. So I was super happy to pick this one up a while back. And this is actually the 50 of 50 Omega as well, so I had a little cherry on top there. Okay, so 74, 73, 72, 71, so 70. Number 70. Okay, it's going to be the Rock 2015 Topps Chrome WWE Atomic Refractor. Just such a beautiful card. Picked up quite a lot of these, not of the Rock specifically, but just a lot of the 2015 Chrome in general a couple of years ago, and I've sold a lot of it. Don't have a ton left. At one point I remember I had 5 sealed hanger boxes that I sold that I got from Blowout on sale at like $20 a piece, and ended up flipping those for anywhere from like 75 to 100, which felt like okay, but you know, looking back, I wish I had those back because you got four atomics in each hanger box plus like 12 other cards. So so yeah, but this one I'm definitely keeping because it's the last one I have of the Rock. I've sold his base refractors, and I think I had one other atomic that I sold as well, but just a really beautiful card. Love that posed image and the Just Bring It shirt, and just really iconic image. So very cool there. All right, so that was 74, 73, 72, 71, so number 69, we've got the Reggie Wayne 2004 Bowman Chrome Gold. So everything I said about the edge applies to this as well. Early Bowman Chrome Golds, the etching, although you can't, I guess, maybe I just can't get a good angle, but yeah, just I love 04 Bowman as well, and I like this image of Reggie getting ready to, you know, go off the line and run a route. You got the early Colts blue face mask there. You got just a really cool shot of Reg, and then you got 40 of 4 of 50 on the back there. So yeah, this is a cool one. For a while there, I didn't have that many Reggie Wayne Golds, and I was lucky enough in these past couple months to pick up like 3 or 4. So really happy to have that sort of part of my collection sort of fill out a little bit as of late. All right, so that was 69. So 68, we go back to back on the Reggie cards here. This is the 2001, so the rookie card, rookie premier auto, and these are really special, pretty rare. There's a couple on the market right now, but by and large, not super easy to find. These were signed at the Rookie Premier event that Topps hosted each year leading up to the NFL season. So this would have been in the summer of 2001. So after the draft, obviously, they have all the rookies in their new uniforms and doing the photo shoot. A lot of the cards from that era, the photographs you see on like the Topps rookie cards were taken at the premiere. They get them in like, you know, just have them out there running around, passing and catching and, you know, having fun and taking all these cool shots. So love this card. I mean, it doesn't get much more, you know, classic than this sort of a pose, you know, in front of the background scene there, holding the helmet, holding the Duke there, and just a really nice, good autograph as well. So number 68 there for Reggie. All right, 67. Go back to Star Wars here. We've got I think this is, 2020 Topps Chrome Perspectives, the Ray Skywalker X-Fractor, and not your average X-Fractor because these are numbered out of 99, you see there. Just really good shine on these, cool image of Ray there. Yeah, just a really nice looking card. Excellent shine, the refractor blends really well with the image. But yeah, it's this is just a really well designed card, and I really like this one a lot. So that comes in at number 67. Okay, number 66. We've got kind of a unique one here. We've got the 2009 Topps Heritage Heroes Teddy Roosevelt. This is the refractor. So these are out of 76. 76, got number 4 there. These are pretty rare. I mean, obviously 76, there's lower numbered cards out there, but it's from a set, you know, that was sort of, you know, kind of obscure 15 years ago. You know, you'll see these pop up on the market from time to time, but they're usually priced pretty high, especially on like the more famous people. Obviously everybody in the set's famous, but you know, on your Martin Luther Kings, George Washington, you know, I was happy to get this Roosevelt for like 100 and I don't know how much I paid for this. It might have been like, I want to say it was either 70 or 120, which those numbers feel kind of far apart, but I just honestly can't remember how much I paid for it. But there was an Eleanor available at the same time, and I really wanted both, but I just couldn't bring myself to spend that much money at the time, so I just bought this one. But love the image, love the glasses there, and just think this is a really cool card. So all right, that's number 66. All right, 65. Oh no, okay, we're good. 65, we'll go over to vintage baseball. Here we got a 1954 Bowman Willie Mays. Not a whole lot to say. I mean, it's my earliest Willie Mays card. I'd like to add a 54 Topps, but I think this one's really cool. I love the image there. The creases don't really bother me in the sense that they don't like cut right through the player image or anything. They're sort of off to the side, so it doesn't really you know, it's a 1, but it doesn't really hurt the eye appeal to me that much. I mean, it's each their own on their sort of condition quirks, but yeah, I'm really happy, and I love the back of this. Let's see, about halfway down there it says he pulled a play in 1951 that many call one of baseball's greatest in a game against the Dodgers. He caught a ball on the run in deep center field, whirled and threw a perfect strike to the plate, catching the runner, trying to score after the catch. So obviously, super iconic moment in baseball history there from that game. Yeah, and this is just a really, really special card. I won this at auction, so happy to have that one. All right, what is next? Next up, we've got the Eli Manning 2006 Bowman Chrome Gold. So a lot of Bowman Chrome Gold famous Hall of Fame type football players here. These 06s really shine. The other ones do as well, obviously, but let me just show you to compare. I guess they're all about the same. I guess, so you can see this one has a little bit more of a darker look to it. These 04s and 06s look pretty similar relative to the 03. But nonetheless, third year card for Eli. Gold out of 50, 49 to 50 there. Yeah, I love Eli Manning. He's not like a top 10 quarterback all time probably or anything like that, but just those two Super Bowl wins and those plays that he made in the Super Bowl are just so huge. And he was a great quarterback, just all around. He didn't get the All-Pro selections. He didn't win MVPs, but man, he could play. And he threw a lot of picks and all that type of thing. And, he did some sort of like, just like, face palm type things as well, at times, but seriously, and just as a dude, as a guy, like I love watching him, talking with Peyton and joking around, and, I'm a big Manning family guy all the way around, so just love collecting Eli. He's a really fun player to collect, especially at his prices for the most part, so. All right, next up, we have more gold, a lot of gold on this section of the countdown. Here we got the 2020 Topps Finest, Shohei Otani, gold refractor out of 50. I generally prefer pitching images for Otani, but I love the 2020 design. It's become a favorite of mine as well across, in wrestling and baseball, and just think this is a really great card, really a clean look. The white jersey, juxtaposed with that just beautiful gold background, and yeah, Otani's just on another level. Not a whole lot I need to say about him. Okay, let's go over to Magic the Gathering for our next card on the list here. We've got the Spring Mishra's Factory Spring Edition from Antiquities. So obviously early Magic here. Beautiful art by Kaja Foglio. If you're not familiar, this playmat I use in all my videos is the Millstone, which I think is also artwork by Kaja Foglio, but I could be wrong. No, actually I know it is because she autographed this playmat over here on the right side. So, so yeah, this is just a beautiful card. Spoiler, you'll see 2 more of these on the countdown, a little bit higher up, but obviously the art on all these is iconic. Each one has the same sort of tree or whatever, but they all have different accents, as you'll see, to reflect each respective season. So I love the little balloons there, love the tunnels, love the little smokestacks, all of it. Just a beautiful, beautiful card. All right, next up, back to wrestling. The 5 Timers Club. We got Bret the Hitman Hart representing here. Not the last Hitman card you'll see on the countdown, but this 5 Timers Club is obviously a personal favorite set of mine. Bret Hart, one of my top 2 favorite wrestlers of all time, along with The Rock, those 2, and then Austin. Obviously, I'm a big Shawn Michaels fan as well. I mean, I like a lot of people, but if I had to choose my favorite 2, it'd be Bret and The Rock. So obviously, 5 Timers Club Gold, super popular set, really well done by Topps. This is my favorite WWF Championship belt as well, so pretty cool there. All right, next up, back to Magic. We have from Arabian Nights, and this is the only Arabian Nights card I own. We have King Solomon here. Really beautiful art by Mark Poole. I love those deep blues, the purple sky, the stars over there, and just how they sort of really set off the card in terms of all the golds and the bright colors and the jewels and the throne and the just the decadence of it. It's just a really, really beautiful piece of Magic the Gathering art. Arabian Nights, obviously the first expansion from original Magic. A lot of crazy, just iconic cards in the set, but I always thought this one was really special, and I picked this up for a couple $100 a couple years ago. So it's not every day you just go out and buy an old Magic card. You kind of got to be in the right headspace, or at least I do, and sort of think about it for a while. But yeah, it's a really, really special piece of history. So okay, next up we have, hands down, no debate, greatest wide receiver in the history of football, from one of my favorite sets in the history of football. We've got the 1999 Bowman Chrome Jerry Rice refractor. I said in my Instagram post about this one, you can debate who the best running back of all time is between Jim Brown and Walter Payton, Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith. Those four are relatively, close in terms of all pro selections. Emmett has an MVP award. Jim Brown, obviously, Walter Payton, the records. Everybody, all those guys to me are sort of interchangeable. I'd go with Jim Brown, but that's just me. But with wide receivers, it honestly, it's in my opinion not even remotely close. I mean, I'd have to put Moss number 2. But with Jerry Rice, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say he's got, I think it was 10 All-Pro selections. 10, like in 17 years or something like that. That is, to put that into context, like Larry Fitzgerald, I think, had 1 or 2. Reggie Wayne, 1. Marvin Harrison, like 3. Randy Moss, maybe like 3 or 4. Calvin Johnson probably had like 2. It's wild. It really is. I went back, I get really nostalgic for like football history around the Super Bowl time, and I went back and I watched the full broadcast of the Super Bowl between the 49ers and the Bengals when Jerry Rice just went ballistic, and it was amazing. It really was special watching him play in his prime like that. And I'm in the early 90s, I was 6, 7, 8 years old. So I saw him when he was obviously still, incredibly, incredibly good. I mean, I have vivid memories of watching the Super Bowl against the Chargers when they just went, just smashed them. And I have some vague memories of like those Montana Rice, playoff games. But yeah, the first Super Bowl I actually remember watching was the Giants and the Bills, and that would have been 25. So it would have been, I think Super Bowl 24 would have been the Niners and the Broncos, maybe? Or no, yeah, I think that's right. But anyway, just an amazing card. These are rare, unnumbered, just actual scarcity type of a situation going on here. So I love 99 Bowman Chrome. Obviously, anytime I can add a cool Jerry Rice card to the PC, happy to do that. So, all right. Next up, what do we got here? All right, Gold Wave 2020. Speaking of my favorite sets, 2020 Topps Chrome Baseball has a chance long term to be one of my favorite, baseball card sets. Mostly just based on personal connection. It's one obviously when me and a lot of other people got back into the hobby really, really hard. And, Bryce Harper's a guy established, 2 MVPs, over 250 home runs or whatever it is. I don't know off the top of my head, I apologize. But, yeah, if he gets a World Series, I mean, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. I mean, if he gets another MVP or whatever, he's got all the numbers in his favor in terms of age and how far he can go, just in the history, and put his name up there in the history of baseball. So Happy to own this card. I love the gold waves. Said it before. I just, there was sort of a mark against them in the hobby for a while, and I feel like now people just kind of accept how cool they are for what it is. And it's, to me, between the gold waves and the true gold, I don't care. I like them. I love them both. So I do think the gold waves look a little better, but I don't actively pay more for them or anything like that. I just think this is a really well-designed baseball card. Simple image, good design, nice logo placement, just solid aesthetics. So, all right. Next up, back to football. This is a beautiful card. Defensive players in football just generally not respected relative to their actual talent. Here we got Derek Brooks. Really cool image here, especially you can see his eyes sort of, ready, tracking the quarterback or whatever it is. The 03 Topps Chrome Gold X Fractors out of 101. These were uncirculated, so they came in the hard mag cases, inserted into boxes. This has become a really just sort of high respected type set, high respected parallel across. I mean, you go look at the Peytons and the Bradys, you're looking at, running up towards thousands of dollars. So to own a guy like Derek Brooks, who, like Jerry Rice, I think last time I was looking at Pro Football Reference, his Hall of Fame monitor was only slightly, it was more than slightly, but I think he only trailed Lawrence Taylor in terms of, overall outside linebacker rankings. Obviously you've got a guy here, several times All-Pro. He has a defensive MVP. He Super Bowl, obviously, and just probably the best player on that, famous Tampa 2 defense that was just really dominating the league in the early 2000s. So super happy. I have a sap of this as well. It didn't make the top 100, but I just respect Derek Brooks a little bit more in terms of his real life football ability. I mean, I respect Sap as well, just not quite to the same level I respect Derek Brooks. Okay, next up, speaking of respect, here we got a highly respected artist in the Star Wars and just broader sketch card world. This is by Andrew Fry. If you're into sketch cards at all, you've probably heard this name. This is the really awesome Ray sketch here. Deep in concentration, Jedi meditation, what have you, connecting with the Force. Just a really beautiful piece of artwork there. Pencil drawing, shading obviously is just incredible. The realism on it, just really stunning piece of art there by Andrew Fry. So really proud to own this card. And then I'll show you the next to the Lindsey Grayling. Got two beautiful pieces of artwork there. So definitely go check out Lindsey Grayling and Andrew Fry art if you're looking for a cool sketch card. All right, next up we have back to football. We got the Peyton Manning 2009 Exquisite triple patch out of 30. I said on Instagram, I'm not crazy about the IND as the cutout. I don't know why. It just doesn't really, that doesn't do it for me, but what does do it for me is just the patch selection. You got cool stitching, you got 2-color. Love this image of Peyton with the blue sleeves. Like the low numbered scarcity, like the horseshoe placement. Love this bordering. It just looks like a really classy card. And that's what Exquisite's all about, really, at the end of the day. Just beautiful, beautiful pieces of game used memorabilia. So yeah, I didn't have any Peyton patch cards in my collection, and then finally I just sort of came to the realization I needed to make that happen, and this one was on the market at a price I felt was really reasonable. I think it was about $120 or something like that. You compare that to what a Brady would cost in the same design. Obviously it's just significantly different. Yeah, and there was a ton of people watching it, so I just felt like it was a good item to kind of pull the trigger on. All right, we're gonna stay on Exquisite for our next card here. We've got the the trio patch from 2006. We've got Marino, we've got Jim Kelly, and we've got Roger Staubach. Interesting, and this is out of 20. Just having these three legends on a card together is super cool as a fan of football history, as a fan of quarterbacks in general. Interesting thing, what I really appreciate about this one, those first couple lines there. So you've received a Dan Marino and Roger Staubach game used and Jim Kelly event worn trading card. So on the front of this card are pieces of memorabilia that have been certified to us as having been used in official NFL games and in an official NFL event. So the Marino and the Staubach are game used, and the Kelly is a game like an event worn. So you must have worn it's a signing or something like that, or some sort of event. That doesn't bother me in the sense that the Kelly is event worn. I really appreciate how it's specified. And I think when you're talking about game used cards, that is so important. People, when they see that this is not from any certain blah, 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 or this was this and that, it just really sketches people out. But when you get these early 2000s items, I think they sometimes can get overlooked in the sense that people are so used to the sort of the just really non-specific, not confident that it was actually used sort of a deal that goes on with the ultra modern products. But you go back to this era, and this whole, maybe not so much in 2006, but 1999, 2000, 2001, this was like a whole, and I was around, buying boxes, opening packs back then, like a lot of people were. And it was a big thing, and it felt like super special. Like when you pulled one of those cards, it was like you were holding like, a real just like piece of history. And over the years, that gradually, just got watered down and watered down and watered down. The companies overdid it. They just cut corners. It wasn't special anymore. And then some of that old stuff, just sort of gets like kind of lumped into that category. And it's just, I mean, as a collector, I can just tell you it's totally different. Like something like this, but more especially something like this, anything like pre 2003, 2004, anything from that late 90s, early like first couple years of the 2000s is just really, really coveted. And I just think that's going to keep being a trend in terms of, especially with those legends, like, yeah, I won't go too much further into that, but we'll just let that play out. But for now, yeah, that's where I'll leave it. Okay. Next up. Okay, back to ultra modern here. We've got the Otani 2018 Topps Chrome, the pink refractor. Nothing crazy here, just a pink refractor rookie card. I don't know what the pop on this is, probably a few hundred, PSA 8. This was more just a personal story about regret. In 2020, when Otani was hurt, I was buying a lot of his stuff, like a lot of his low numbered parallels and that type of a thing. And I kept looking at this pink refractor in like a PSA 9 for like $30. And I was like, I don't know. It doesn't seem whatever. I don't really want to pay $30 for it. And then like 2021 happened. He went, parabolic, and all of his stuff went to the moon. And I had missed my chance. But then eventually this one came around in an auction. I ended up paying about $65 for this, $75 for this. And I was super happy at that price point, even for an 8. Just to get it into the PC, because I really just love the design of this card. Again, I love Otani pitching cards. This is like, to me, the perfect image for a trading card. Just the placement of it, holding the ball, the glove, the facial expression, the overall design just really accentuates the image. These pink refractors from Topps Chrome just really, really pop. And yeah, this is only one, actually these are the only 2 rookie cards on the top 100 PC countdown, this Reggie Way and this Otani. So yeah, as you can see, I'm not a huge rookie card guy by and large, but these 2 definitely feel really special to me. So, all right. Next up, did I skip? Oh no, we're good. Okay, so next up, I actually just posted this on Instagram this morning. So this is the Claude Monet, the 1908 Felix Poten. So Felix Poten was a chocolate company, so they made like candy and stuff, and you would, you know, with your candy, you would get one of these trading cards or two. I don't know exactly how many you got or how many were in a box of candy or chocolate or whatever, but Claude Monet is an artist, obviously considered sort of the father or the, you know, the leader of the Impressionist movement. Obviously a ton of famous work. I'm a pretty big fan of art history. I'm not going to sit here and claim to like be an expert on art history by any stretch of the imagination. You know, my extent of knowledge comes from, you know, documentaries that I watch on TV and Amazon and YouTube and that type of thing. And I watch some pretty not niche, but pretty like academic type stuff. I like, you know, art history lectures just to sort of like fall asleep type videos and stuff like that. But yeah, I really appreciate Monet's work and his contributions to art history. And I like cards that are, and I said this on Instagram as well, to me, when you're going for these historic items, I want cards of individuals that were from their time. So with Monet, he was born in 1840, passed away in 1924, I want to say. So he would have been in his late 60s when this card was produced. Obviously, he's not 68 years old in this image, but, you know, he was still alive. He was still, you know, a topic of conversation at the time. I mean, obviously, he's always been a topic of conversation, and he always will be, but with these historic items, I try to get them, you know, I'm sure he has a card in like some set in like 1960s, and I'm not trying to say those aren't cool or anything like that, but just for me, I really prefer the item to come from a period in time when that person was, you know, either alive or active or whatever it was, if they were an athlete or a celebrity. So just think this is a really cool historic piece. Yeah, and pretty rare. I mean, you know, there's probably less than 10 of these graded, I would imagine, you know, across all grades. But yeah, so that's the Monet from 1908 there. And then we'll close out today's section of the countdown with another 5 Timers Club Gold. This is the Stone Cold Steve Austin. And you may be asking, well, if Bret Hart's your, if you like Bret Hart and The Rock more than Austin, why is this one higher? I just think, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm a big Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. I think part of it, maybe I feel like I got a really good deal on this one. I paid like $30 for this. And sometimes, like when you get a really good price on a card, you sort of attach to it even more, I would say. You feel like it's sort of been a winner for you, so that type of a thing. And that's kind of how I feel about this card. So I have a special connection to it. Obviously, I love Stone Cold. You know, if I like The Rock and Bret Hart as, you know, 1 and 1A, then Austin is like 1A.5 or 1B, you know what I mean? So it's not like it's not that far apart. And then obviously in the history of wrestling, I think Stone Cold probably is more, you know, he's higher on the list in terms of like all-time greats than Bret Hart is, I would say. But yeah, that's what I got for you today. That's the second installment of the Top 100 Countdown. We'll keep going forward, and then we'll be back with part 3, and we'll look at like 49 to 25 or whatever it is. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. Hope everybody's doing well, and I look forward to seeing y'all again soon. Take it easy.